Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to RWBY Reactions. Volume 5 is here. Welcome to Haven. I suppose that means that RWBY Team Ranger have made it back to made it all the way to Haven. I got the impression at the end of Volume 4 that they'd only sort of really made it past the mountains that separate Vale from the eastern side of the continent. But maybe they have made it across the water and made it onto the continent of Anima. So this would imply that they've made it all the way to Haven to see Mr. Lionheart, who we don't know who that's based off of. We're going to assume, I suppose, since we've got Crow and Ironwood, that Mr. Lionheart is going to represent the Cowardly Lion in this little Wizard of Oz scenario. Especially since we've got Ozpin and Glinda Goodwitch as well. Yeah, it makes sense. But I think he could also have a kind of a personality of Richard the Lionheart, or at least the idealised heroic version of Richard the Lionheart, which, for those who don't know, was a king of England in the 1100s, no, the late 1100s, 1189 to 1199, and sort of reportedly brave and saw major victories and everything. So he's the archetypal warrior king. So maybe Mr. Lionheart Haven represents that side as well, because I have theories that a lot of the inspirations behind some of the characters are multiples, like RWBY herself being based off of both Little Red Riding Hood and Rose Red from the Snow White and Rose Red story. Now, where is everybody? So I'm assuming that Blake is going to stay in Menagerie, uncovering more about, or trying to infiltrate the White Fang, or the corrupt White Fang. Maybe she gets Ilya's help. I reckon Sun is going to stay around with her. We don't know what's happened to Neptune. I'm assuming he's gone back home. We didn't see him all last volume. I'm not expecting to see him this volume either, to be quite honest. Oscar, or Ozpin, that's a creepy one, actually. I don't know how. Is Ozpin's... Because a lot of people have assumed that Ozpin's semblance is immortality. And I'm one of those that... I'm on that side of thinking that his semblance allows him to effectively live forever. And him transplanting his personality into Oscar, is that the way he does it? I mean, is he going to eventually push Oscar's personality out and take over Oscar's body? That's kind of weird. That's kind of not very nice. Kind of evil. So it would explain how he sort of kind of talks with, in the big conversation with Salem that frames volumes 1 to 3. He talks about life beginning as if he was there, or they both do, as if they were the original light and dark gods. Is Ozpin a god? Is Salem a god? Because that's not a grim mask she wears, that's actually a grim face. She has the face of a grim. And are we going to see Team Evil this season? I would definitely like to see Neo come back. I know we're probably not going to see Roman anymore, but Neo was such a fantastic character, even though she didn't speak. And a formidable enemy. Yeah, I would definitely like to see Neo, Emerald, Cinder. I'm not that bothered about Mercury, to be quite honest. I think he could actually die, and I wouldn't really care that much. I would also like to see Velvet. Well, I'd like to see the whole of Team Coffee, but in particular Velvet, because let's face it, the reveal of her, should we call it, semblance weapon combo was amazing. I think it's got to be the best combination of weapon and semblance usage in the whole show. And I thought Weiss's command of dust use, semblance use, and weaponry as a combination was good, but Velvet's is out of this world, and we need that back. We need some awesomeness, because the last volume was dark, and the end of volume 3 was dark, and this is looking to be not a particularly exactly light-hearted volume, given all that's going on. I mean, Vale is still lost, or Beacon is anyway. Should we talk about shipping? You know, we know Renora is going to happen. That's pretty much a given now. Black Sun, I'm not entirely sure about, actually. We know that Sun is absolutely potty about Blake, but Blake seems to tolerate him. He's useful to her to have around. Another Faunus, somebody else that knows not knows the goings on of the White Fang, but has been privy to the fall of Beacon and knows what she knows. He's a useful ally, but I don't know if she thinks of him romantically. Yang and Blake, Bumblebee. Now, I don't believe Jeff Williams' song Bumblebee is canon. I mean, it's a lovely idea, and I do believe that Blake and Yang, or at least Yang, cares for Blake like nothing I've ever seen. Like super duper best friends. That sounds so childish, but you know what I mean. It's beyond friendship. There's a very big link that Yang has for Blake. Not sure if it goes the other way. Blake's a very, I wouldn't say cold person, but very isolated, a very solitary, cat personality, I suppose. Very, very solitary person. I think if Salem is going after the relics that are under all these academies, she's going to go to Atlas last, because that is the most heavily fortified, technologically advanced society there is. So it's all about protecting Haven, I suppose, now. I think we should get on with it, don't you? I think I've waffled long enough.
The city of Mistral.
Crow.
It's about time. Whose idea was it to walk again?
Ruby's.
We've faced many obstacles. Broken airships, destroyed settlements.
Oh, and, all those people and monsters that tried to murder us.
So they've got
We were
Mistral.
fine. Only one of us almost died.
Hey,
Hey,
So how much farther to Haven Academy?
almost there.
Thank you. I was just about to ask
figured
that.
I'd
Is
take
Haven
you
the
kids on
academy
scenic route.
and Mistral is the city? Come on, let's have a look. Oh, that is beautiful. Love that waterfall.
That's certainly something.
Everyone's frozen.
Gosh, look at all the weapons!
Vendors here will sell you just about anything.
Why isn't
whether
anyone
they should or
moving?
not.
They really made the most out of these mountains.
Every inch.
Oh, and fullness as well.
Stay away from the lower levels, but the higher up you go, the nicer it gets.
And we are going up!
Oh yes, because the lower levels are sort of pirates and black marketeers and things, aren't they?
So, how much farther?
We're in the home stretch now. No more stops from here to Mistral. Sorry for the long trip. Keeping us off the radar's been harder than I thought.
Oh,
Lots
good.
of air
Why
traffic
she's going to
around
join
Northern
them?
Anima.
It's fine. I just hope I haven't been a burden.
You and your money are more than welcome on this ship, kid.
Yeah, damn right.
Is everything okay?
I don't know. I'm still over Lake Matsu. Shouldn't be picking up broadcasts this far from Mistral. Someone must be close.
Mayday! Mayday! We are a small passenger flight and our Huntress is down! We aren't equipped to deal with this!
Oh, man.
The Green
Yeah,
Air
you
Force
gotta
is
go.
like north of the southern shoreline.
She knows.
Get him off us! If anyone can hear this...
We're going to help them, right?
What? No. I'm trying to avoid them.
But they'll die.
Look, if
You
we
know
picked
that's
up the
wrong.
transmission, I'm sure someone else did too. Besides, this is a cargo ship. She's not much good in a fight. I just want to finish this job and get home. Sorry, kid. My ship, my rules.
Oh, I can see his point, but why she isn't going to be happy about that? It's very quiet. Where is everyone?
We made it. Hello? Hello? Maybe try louder?
There doesn't seem to be anyone here.
No, there doesn't, does there?
Well,
That's
I guess
weird.
school isn't really in session right now. Maybe that's it.
Maybe.
Oh, this isn't right. Come on.
Wait for us!
Get ready. There could be trouble.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's definitely the Cowardly Lion.
Lionheart?
Crow! For crying out loud, you nearly scared me half to death!
Yeah, it's definitely Richard the
I want you
Lionheart
waiting
and
for us at the
the Cowardly
entrance.
Lion.
Oh, right. Apologies. I guess time slipped away from me.
You're joking.
Where is everybody?
Ah, you must be the students Crow mentioned.
Yes, sir. Ruby Rose.
Jean Arc.
Nor Valkyrie.
Lyren.
A pleasure to meet you all. Leonardo Lionheart at your service. I'm afraid most of my staff is currently away until classes resume, but...
What? Leo, you can't be serious. Who's guarding the relic?
He
Oh,
is.
the children!
Already know. I filled them in. What do you mean your staff is away?
You filled them in?
So, is this not going at all like anyone thought it would?
Yeah, I get the feeling that it's not going well.
Unbelievable!
Total garbage.
Boys.
We can't let them get away with this.
Oh, Gira
Well,
and
at least you two
Sana.
can finally agree on something.
Yeah. I was just about to say that.
Guys, everything's gonna be okay.
Good evening, miss. Can I get you anything?
Just a little time to myself, if that's all right.
Sure thing. Just call if you need me.
She seems a little young to be a god.
You need better security. Please, I just need to talk.
could you take the fall for them, Ilya?
Blake.
Corsican Finnick blamed you. We confronted them tonight and they denied knowing anything, and everything we found on your scroll, they talked about how disappointed they were to hear that you'd sided with Adam. But you and I both know they're guilty.
Yes.
You can't prove anything.
That scroll might not have been enough to lock them up, but it's enough to sway the Faunas here. When we go public tomorrow, they're not going to stand for any of it. And neither should you.
No, yeah, because all Faunas are equal.
Your plan isn't gonna
Menagerie.
work, Blake. Please. Just leave Menagerie before it's too late.
What is she not
You're
saying?
going to have to make me.
I know.
I have to say, Crow, this all seems very reckless, even for you.
No, reckless is leaving one of the relics completely unguarded. It's not checking in with Oz for ages.
There was nothing to check in about before the fall of Beacon, but since that day, Mistral has been in chaos.
Yeah.
Vale wasn't the only kingdom to suffer that night. Everyone was watching. Every house in every kingdom saw that poor girl ripped to pieces, saw monsters crawling over the city, Atlesian knights attacking citizens, and then nothing.
Yeah, because all
You
the
could feel
CC
the dread in the air.
TS system
All
thing.
that negativity, you can imagine what it was like when the Grimm came for us. Mistral's controlled territory is the widest reaching in the world, you know, and that makes it infinitely harder to protect. We lost so many great huntsmen, teachers from this very institution, and it's only gotten worse.
What do you mean?
We may have dealt with the Grimm, but the Mistral Council's still at odds with representatives from Atlas. First, it was the dust embargo. Now it's the closing of borders. I'm not sure what
Closing
happened
of
to
borders?
James in Vale, but it seems to have only worsened some of his more unfortunate tendencies. And on top of everything, we still don't know where the Spring Maiden is.
All the more reason we need the huntsmen and huntresses here.
Okay, okay. Things are bad.
No, yeah, no talk of the winter or
But we can figure this out.
summer.
Why is the Spring Maiden so important?
I thought you filled them in.
Mostly filled in. Look, there's a lot to cover, okay? I quit
Yeah.
teaching for a reason.
The four maidens each have the power to perform feats of magic. And they are the only ones capable of reaching the relics.
What?
Ah.
The relics are each locked inside a chamber that can only be opened by a specific maiden. Winter for the gift of creation, summer for destruction, fall for choice, and spring for knowledge.
Oh, right, okay.
Spring is the problem.
What happened to her?
She was determined at first, when she inherited her powers. But the weight of responsibility proved to be too much for the child. She ran, abandoned her training, everyone.
They don't know where she is.
That was over a decade ago. There's no telling where she could be now.
Right.
I know.
Oh, you do, do you?
At least, I have a pretty good idea.
Are you serious?
It's not exactly good news.
What are you talking about? This is incredible news! After all these years, where?
I did some digging around. Looks like after Spring ran away, she was picked up by bandits. Specifically, the Brownwind tribe.
Raven.
Raven, yes. Auntie Raven.
Thanks, Mom.
That's right.
where?
That's about where they've set up their main camp. It's where they fall back to after raids and scouting missions. Raven's managed to gain a lot of followers since she returned to the tribe. And I'm sure when the Spring Maiden showed up, it only made things easier.
Well, Crow, I've got to hand it to you. With these coordinates, we can mount a retrieval force and head out in a few weeks.
Oh god, that's not going to work, is it?
A few weeks?
Raven can create portals for a start.
Leo, maybe you didn't hear me. My sister has the Spring Maiden, and I know where she is. We need to go as soon as possible.
We're getting a lot of what was in the trailer in the first episode.
This kingdom is in shambles. As soon as possible does not mean tomorrow. It means as soon as I can convince the rest of the council that I need huntsmen more than they do. Unfortunately, bandit tribes aren't very high on their list of priorities when the threat of war is just on the horizon.
Yeah, and the grim everywhere.
We'll do it ourselves. You and I are trained huntsmen, and these kids aren't exactly pushovers.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Perhaps there's a more peaceful way to approach this?
We need to get Spring as far away from here as possible, but Raven isn't going to give up her most prized possession without a fight.
Unfortunately, you and your sister are evenly matched, and I'm not the fighter I used to be. No offense, but these students and I can't take on an entire bandit tribe and a maiden that's no doubt had years to hone her skills. We need to be positive we can apprehend Spring, because if we fail, Raven and her tribe will scatter, and we'll be lost.
Yeah.
We get one shot at this.
So I take it Winter unlocks the Atlas. And Summer must...
You know, Oz wouldn't be happy with
open
any of this if you
vacuo.
were here.
Perhaps you're right, but he's not. I'm doing the very best I can.
There has to be something we can do.
What about Cinder? She came with Emerald and Mercury from Haven. Do you have anything on them?
Oh, did
We
she?
pulled their files after the fall of Beacon. Nothing but lies and forgeries.
Of course. Oh, you can talk,
Well,
John.
I can't say this has been a warm reunion, Leo.
I'm sorry. I know you've all traveled a long way, but I will do everything I can to help.
Sure. We'll stay in the city for the time being. Local comms are still up. Keep in touch. Come on, kids.
That was a fat waste of time then, wasn't it?
It was nice meeting you, Professor.
Likewise.
How very polite. Well done, Ruby. Oh. Oh.
Leo, we have got to work on your improvisational skills.
Oh dear, who's that? Who's W? Is that Watts?
So, what do we do now?
You four head back to the house. I need a drink.
Of course you do, mate. Of course you do. You always need a drink.
Excuse me.
Oh, this is where Oscar comes in. From the end of Volume 4.
You know, I don't think they allow kids in here.
Shut up, I'm getting there. I'm supposed to tell you I'd like my cane back.
It's good to see you again, Oz.
That's brilliant to insert that there. That was
Aren't you a
excellent.
little young to be drinking?
Oh, water.
Don't say that.
It's hot out.
Oh, sure.
Are you telling me you're too young to drink? You look like a regular huntress.
Who's he?
And a beauty at that.
I'm good. Thanks, pal.
Seriously. Not too bulky, not too lean. You're...
just right. Yep. Like I said, I'm good.
Get lost, creep.
Your hair.
Uh-oh. Yeah, well, he was being a douche. One to go.
This one's on the house. He's been driving me crazy. So, what brings you around these parts?
Thanks. And I'm, looking for someone.
Ruby
Not many
or
people come
Raven?
out here, too far from the kingdoms.
That's what we want to know.
Nothing around here is, well, Raven.
Raven Bronwyn.
Ah, it is Raven.
Thanks again.
Now, Missy, you don't want to go messing with bandits. They're a world of trouble.
So I hear.
Oh, she's going after her mum.
Hey, girlie.
Seriously? This isn't over?
I heard you're looking for someone.
Oh, bandit. Are you? We've seen it in the trailer. Come on, we know it's Oscar.
Can I help you?
Yeah. Is there a ruby rose here?
Why?
Well...
I found him!
I think her uncle could use some help.
Oh. I found him.
What is going on out there? Can't a girl read her comics in peace? Did you get drunk again?
Maybe.
Oh. You have silver eyes.
I knew you was going to say that.
Who are you?
Don't you know?
Well, my name is Oscar Pine.
Wait for it.
But you probably know me as Professor Ozpin.
Why are you a small child? Ah, it was awesome. Oh, we get the soundtrack, this new song. Mercury. Oh, together. Salem's grown. Ah, it was awesome. Oh, and we get the soundtrack, this new song. So that was a genteel start to the volume, more of a catch-up. Doesn't seem to have taken place, or it doesn't seem to take place that long after the end of Volume 4, because Weiss is still journeying to Mistral. So it looks like Weiss is going to rejoin the troop of 4, the Team Ranger. We have Ozpin now reunited with Team Ranger and with Crow. That was brilliant the way they put the end of Volume 4 into this episode. You know, that end scene with Crow and Ozpin in the bar, which suggests that kind of the timeline was a little bit mixed up in Volume 4, and I think the timeline's a little bit mixed up in this because Weiss is still journeying, and I'm sure it doesn't take that long to get from Atlas to Mistral by airship. And yet, don't think about it. It does seem that Leo Lionheart is based on the Cowardly Lion, at least in his name. He certainly doesn't display that in his personality. That is definitely more like Richard the Lionheart, the strategist, the warrior. But as he said, I mean, his place was overrun with grim. Going after bandits is definitely the last thing he wants to do. But it seems that both Team Ranger, we've got to call it a different team now that Ozpin and Crow are in it as well. Team Ranger is heading towards Raven, which is where Yang is heading towards. And Yang doesn't look as though she's going after Raven for some sort of maternal comfort. She means serious business. I think that there's gonna be a fight ensuing there. But according to what will be the intro sequence for the rest of the volume that we got at the end there, we got Yang fighting Mercury. So I suppose that stands to reason that after the fall of Beacon, Mercury would, because we didn't see him in Volume 4. We saw Emerald and Cinder, but we didn't see Mercury, so maybe he wandered off to join Raven as well. And that's how we're going to get that fight. And we saw Blake and Ilya go head to head. And then we saw all 4 of them at the end go against Salem. So are we going to get some massive battle against Salem at the end here? And we had Cinder fighting somebody as well. Who was that? Then we've got Weiss. She's fighting, she's summoning the White Knight. Nora's fighting Hazel and Nora's fighting Hazel with Ren. Blake's fighting Ilya. Yang's fighting Mercury. And then we've got Ruby, Weiss, Blake and Yang fighting Salem. And in the more friendly part of things, we've got Oscar wielding the cane with Ozpin, the old Ozpin's face, superimposed, which is good. Oh, we've got Hazel and Adam together as well. And Cinder and some other chameleon type, but I don't think she's a chameleon, but she kind of looks a little bit like Ilya, but without them. So it's hard to predict what's going to go. I think there's going to be a head-to-head in Raven's camp as they all meet. Hopefully Yang will meet up with Crow and company before she gets to Raven, because as was it Leo that said Crow and Raven are evenly matched? So Yang against Raven, that's going to be a bloodbath. You know, Yang could get seriously hurt, even more seriously hurt, even with a robotic arm, especially if Mercury's in the... Oh dear, no, this is going to get complicated. I can't wait for the rest of the episodes. Wasn't that song, the new intro song, that sounds amazing. Absolutely amazing. I can't wait to hear the full version. Anyway, I really must go now, so thank you for watching and catch you later. Bye bye.